Good morning, class. In the previous lesson, we have learned about teeth and tongue. We have come to know about the different types of teeth, the functions of tongue. Now, today we'll be learning about pharynx. After the food is chewed, so what happens to the food? At the back of the throat, alright? Where is the pharynx present? Is at the back of the throat. Mechanism of swallowing. Now, as the food enters through the throat, there are different mechanisms. Swallowing is coordinated activity of tongue, soft palate, pharynx, and esophagus. The food is pushed into the pharynx by the tongue. Tongue blocks the mouth. Soft palate closes off the nose. Larynx over here, very important, larynx rises. So the epiglottis, can you see the white portion of flap-like tissue can close the opening of trachea? Because the epiglottis is not closed, the food can enter into a respiratory tract. That might lead to choking. We have to be very careful. That's why we have to close our mouth and talk less while we are eating. Next, after the passage of food from the epiglottis, the food passes through a long muscular tube that is about 10 inches and 25 centimeters long, which connects the mouth with the stomach. Food takes about 4 to 8 seconds as it passes through the stomach. Its walls contain smooth muscles that contracts wavy motions called peristalsis. Peristalsis, it helps to propel food and liquid slowly down through the esophagus into the stomach. Over here is a cardiac sphincter, drink-like wave that relaxes and allows food into the stomach, cardiac sphincter. Now, peristalsis, a very important movement of food. It's a wave-like motion of the alimentary canal which move the food forwards. So, wave of relaxation and there's a contraction. The food now reaches the stomach and the cardiac sphincter is located over here. The main function of the cardiac sphincter is to not allow the food to go back to the esophagus and from there to pass through the mouth. The human digestive system, now the stomach now. The stomach has folds and is a big muscular pouch. Which turns the bolus and mixes with gastric juice, a mixture of stomach, acid, mucus, and enzyme. So the stomach stores food for some time and releases it slowly. Food stays for 2 or 6 hours in the stomach. Not the food before, as we were chewing and swallowing. As we were swallowing, The food was bolus. The food once has reached to our stomach. Now the food is no more a bolus. Now the food has become a chyme. The food remains inside the stomach due to the contraction of the two sphincters. You have the cardiac sphincter and pyloric sphincter. The food, as it passes from the stomach, there is a passage over there that stops and closes so that the food doesn't return back to stomach. And the main function over here, pyloric sphincter, is to stop the food passing into further glands. The gastric juice now. Inside the stomach, we have gastric juice. The acid kills off any invading bacteria or viruses. That is hydrochloric acid. The enzymes, that is pepsin and renin, very important enzyme, break down proteins and lipids. The mucus protects the lining of the stomach from being eaten away by the acid. So there's a mucus layer over here in the stomach. Then you have the acid, that is the hydrochloric acid, and you have the two enzymes, that is the pepsin and the renin. The main function of pepsin is to break down proteins into finer proteins, and the renin, the main function of renin is to digest the milk. The various juices that we have is the hydrochloric acid, pepsin and renin, and even the mucus. So children, we will do till here for this class.